Well, good morning. Happy Sunday. It is now day 3 for KetoCon. This lighting is pretty bad, sorry. So I am up. We're going to actually get out of here on time. I'm going to fuel my body really quick, and we're going to run down there. We might make one more round of looking at some of the booths that's set up and grab some more free stuff. Guess what? All that free stuff I might be giving away. You never know. So let's eat, get dressed, and get out of here. Okay, my fuel for today, some bulletproof coffee. I just have some collagen in it, and my regular fats. Here is, I still have a lot of barbecue left over from Terry Black's because we spent like over $100 in barbecue. That place is the bomb. If you come to Austin, Texas, go to Terry Black's. That food is just unbelievably good. So this is a beef rib. It's huge. It was huge, people. It's been 2 of us eating on it. So here we are. I'm going to eat some of this, drink some of this. We're getting dressed and head out. So here we are at KetoCon day 3.
Alexandra.
Hi.
I'm Brian.
Hi, Brian.
How are you?
I'm good.
I follow you on Instagram.
Oh, gosh. Well, say hi to my YouTube people.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian, Keto Evangelist. We're putting this on.
Thank you. I'm
hi.
loving it. I am loving it. Oh, my God.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for being here.
Well,
I didn't
you.
want to interrupt your show, but I just wanted to say hi.
Well, thank you.
Can I have a hug?
Did anyone kayak under them? Yeah, they do that. Because I was going to ask why. If you did that,
I've
why?
done it before.
Okay, I'll ask why.
It's actually really cool.
To see them fly out, but then risk being drenched.
You could shower or
You
not.
can tell you're in the water, right? You're in the water.
No, it's actually really, really cool. I'd say everybody should experience it.
Everyone should experience it.
If you are into like seeing that type of
If you like bats. Does anyone like bats in here?
I had no idea how to start the introduction other than this has been a fantastic weekend and it's been wonderful meeting you all. I hope you're as excited to hear my story as I am to tell it. Behind every statistic is a face and a person. And these are some of the amazing people defying the odds and beating epilepsy. Epilepsy is a disorder caused by malfunctioning nerve cells in the brain, which cause episodes called seizures. 1 in 26 people in the US have epilepsy. And currently, there are 50,000 Americans diagnosed each year. And right here in America, we pay $15.5 billion caring and treating epilepsy each year. And currently, there are 65 million people worldwide living with epilepsy. More people live with epilepsy than autism, MS, Parkinson's, and cerebral palsy combined. Raise your hand if you know someone with epilepsy. I do. Wow. Wow. If there was anybody that raised their hand, my hope is after today, my story will allow you to have a better understanding of the journey a person with epilepsy goes through. So bear with me, okay? It was July 4th, 1987, and this little girl laid on her father's lap in the back seat of her family's blue Oldsmobile as her mother sped them to the hospital. She felt herself slipping into darkness, and she could hear a loud rumble in the distance, like a train. Unable to respond, but able to hear her father say, "Jade, stay with me. Jade, we're here." If you haven't guessed yet, that little girl is me. And that moment was my first seizure. Even with the amazing support of my family, I felt so alone during those seizures and powerless. And I would carry that feeling for much of my life. The feeling that nobody truly understood, the feeling of powerlessness each time a seizure happened, and how alone I felt in the world. Thankfully, I don't carry those feelings today. I have lived with epilepsy for nearly 31 years. But because of keto and my healing journey in the kitchen, I have been able to mitigate those feelings. But before all that, there was 28 years of struggle. According to BJ Neblett, we are the sum total of our experience. And if that statement is true, I am the front car of a roller coaster with a life full of ups and downs. And here are just a few. I've had 3 ICU stays. Yes, that is the intensive care unit. 12 EEGs that I can actually remember. And 17 MRIs, all before the age of 18. And 10 medications in the first 28 years of my diagnosis. Multiple ER visits and hospital stays that made me feel like the hospital was my second home. And 30 complex partial seizures, and those are the ones I could actually remember. And way too many simple partials to count, because to me, those were like breathing and walking. They just happened and you kept moving through life. And 1 brain biopsy at the age of 8 that determined I had a scar on my left temporal lobe. It was caused from birth when the umbilical cord was wrapped around my neck. And during each contraction, the blood supply was cut off, in essence causing a mini stroke. And that little girl right there had no idea what was ahead of her. And from that point on, all I wanted to be was normal. So here I was, diagnosed with epilepsy, and all I wanted to do was be a normal kid. Which I was. I did sports, I had friends, I traveled, and I had epilepsy that affected my life. When I look back now, 2 stories stand out that ground me into the person I am today, and I want to share them with you. Recently, my mom told me a story. She said, I remember one day when you were playing outside not long after you were diagnosed. And I said, be careful. That's what she said to me. And I turned to her and I said, I just want to be normal, Mom. And she said it broke her heart. And from that point on, she had to trust that everything would be okay and allow me to live my life. And that if something did happen, I was doing what I loved. I am so lucky to have a family that never held me back and believed I was just as capable as everyone else. And I was beyond lucky to have a mom that was a nurse. And she made sure I was well educated on my diagnosis and my medications. That my epilepsy wasn't something to ignore, but to understand. And her gift of self-empowerment through knowledge continues to be the cornerstone of how I live today. But the thing is, parents can't always protect their children. Things happen. And as a child, I faced discrimination due to my diagnosis. And it helped fuel my fire to educate people. And that's what brought me here. When I was in 8th grade, my English class was planning a trip to San Francisco, and we were going to see the Christmas Carol. And I had planned my outfit 2 months in advance, and I can actually remember what I was wearing to this day. We were going on a trip, but a week or two before, I had a seizure at school. And when I returned, my teacher informed me that I would not be attending the field trip because they felt for my safety. She even said she was scared and she didn't think she could take care of me. And I remember how upset I was, and I felt so excluded out of something my heart was so set on. And that old saying, "I just want to be normal," rang in my ears. I became very mad, and I couldn't understand why I was being punished for something I literally had no control over. That night I cried and cried to my mom about how unfair it was. And my mother and father had an appointment with the principal and the teacher, and they decided that my father would come along on that trip. And I was so embarrassed. But the thing is I never saw my dad on that trip. When we were in the theater, I think he sat out in the lobby, and when we went to Pier 39, he wandered around somewhere. I couldn't see him, but I swear I felt him watching me the whole time. My parents fought for me in that office, and they were my voice when I wasn't being given a chance to be heard. But as we all know, struggles don't just magically disappear when we reach adulthood. They just simply change. And as I entered adulthood, on 2 separate occasions, I was unable to drive, and I felt like a burden to my family, my husband. I had a seizure home alone and was nearly arrested because they thought I was a drug addict. I don't think it helped that I was wandering around in a mini skirt and my bra, and you can laugh at that, it's okay. My husband, after being together for 3 years, saw me have a seizure for the first time, and I was in my head thinking, there's no denying this now. It's right here with us. I became a master at dealing with insurance companies. One of the most emotional things I've done, but it's what set me on a path to finding empowerment. And then I had a seizure during swim practice that sent me on another round of medications. And I had unsurmountable medical bills that never ended. Now the stress of life, compounded with simply being an adult, it made life beyond hard. It's because of all these events that I sit here before you, sharing that it is my hope that any child or adult diagnosed wouldn't have to undergo the amount of trauma I have experienced. It is my belief that diet changed my physical, mental, and emotional well-being and can do the same for others. Well, that was turned around backwards, right? Today's topic isn't about the sum of Jade's miserable moments. Rather, it's about how I began my healing journey in the kitchen. Changes start with a moment, one instance. Mine began with one phone call from my little sister in the fall of 2015 during another medication transition that was not going well at all. And she was listening to yet another long crying jag from me. And then when I got quiet, she said, "You need to look into the ketogenic diet." And this is where my plot twist happens. My dream of being off medication and the opportunity to finally see what living normal truly meant, that it might be possible, it began with me making a phone call to my doctor and making an appointment. I went to the neurologist and I told him I wanted to be on the ketogenic diet. I requested to be taken off sonnisamide, and I stayed only on Garbatrol and Vimpat. And he sent me away with a titration schedule, a link to the Charlie Foundation, and told me, don't eat more than 50 grams of carbohydrates and as much protein as you want. For the first time in a long time, I felt hopeful and I was ready to heal myself. With my very tiny amount of information, I set out on my own, but I had no idea what I was about to begin, and that what he had given me really wasn't enough. It was going to take so much more. I was going to have to make drastic changes to my diet and life. And I wondered if I was ready. You know, I had always been trying new things, working on trying to feel better. I had a really solid self-care plan. I had been practicing the paleo diet, but I hadn't eaten dairy in 7 years. I hadn't had beef in nearly 20, and I seriously thought bacon was disgusting. That is not the truth today, though. I'm obsessed with it, and I hope you all are too. I was severely underweight when I started out. It was due to that latest medication change, and it also caused a really bad stomach gastritis. So eating was really hard. But I was willing to do anything at that point, even if it meant changing everything I did. Food, like never before, became the most important thing in my life. Food and how it was helping me became this constant shifting puzzle. And I was constantly trying to figure it out and solve it. It was a target that was constantly moving. And no longer was food just this thing that tasted good and made me feel emotionally happy when I was sad due to my seizures or any of the struggles with it. It was becoming my guide through the feelings I had carried about my diagnosis, the overwhelming frustration, the lack of control, the never-ending anger, and the desire for normal, and ultimately, towards a form of acceptance. All strong feelings that led to a healing and to an understanding that food was about to be my medicine. Frustrating, a feeling I battled every day, and a desire to have control over my body that betrayed me whenever it wanted. Gaining back control began with research and education. It was the one thing that made me feel in control. All my life I was obsessed with educating myself and researching. So I did what I knew how to do best. I started educating myself on keto, stuffing my brain full of information. And that knowledge empowered me. I read every book, research paper, and study I could get a hold of. I gathered recipes, and I amassed a huge library of books. And through it all, I felt completely overwhelmed, but I kept moving forward. I had my go-to websites. All day I dream about food. I breathe I'm hungry, healthful pursuit, and ruled me. And every time I visited these sites, I was excited, hopeful, and this began a new relationship with food, cooking, and healing. So with therapeutic ketosis, which is what I need to do for my seizures, I had to focus on macros and ratios.
Okay guys, I am back. So this is what I'm having. I don't know if it's my first meal because I only ate a little bit this morning, the coffee and a little bit of the beef. Oh Lord, the beef rib. Oh God, my brain. Okay, so this is some more of the beef rib, an avocado. Yes, I brought my own salt and some more of that sugar-free barbecue sauce. So I'm going to eat this and we'll figure out what the rest of the day is going to look like and go from there. Hi guys, I thought I would kind of just talk about some of the things that I got at KetoCon. And we're going to start off with this one, the Keto Mojo. Now this I actually bought, and I've been wanting one for a long time. So the rest of these things are just freebie things that I picked up along the way. So we got this little meat stick. Let's see. There was another one. Yeah, here they are. I think it's 2 of them. So if you remember my keto room, you see I had some of these, the big tubs of them, the Ancient Nutrition bone broth. This is a vanilla. This is a savory herb, which I don't have the savory herb, but that sounds pretty good. And I have some of the Keto Logic. I think these are like pre-workout salts, so in different flavors. I have some of these little Swerve packets. I have a Keto Chow meal replacement, salted caramel. This is, let's see, it's some collagen peptides in these little bags of Parmacrisp. I think I have quite a few of these. Yeah, they're in little Parmacrisp bags. And this is more the, I think they call it BHB salt drinks. This is the Primal Kitchen collagen. It's vanilla coconut. This one is different. They were there actually cooking up sausage and bacon and all that fun stuff. They have this bacon and preserved. It's not a jerky, it's the actual bacon. Let's see. And we have some of the Perfect Keto. And this is their peaches and cream. The Fat Bomb nut butter, macadamia pecan with sea salt. Some more BHB salt, citrus mango. In here, the people that do the fat snacks, they have a fat tea matcha. And some more of the ancient grain bone broth protein, the chocolate flavor. And this is interesting. This is actually dog food, freeze-dried dog food. So pretty interesting here. And it's keto. So this is going to conclude my video for the day and that little haul of goodies. So what I am thinking is to do a giveaway of some of it, or if not mostly all of it. I have a lot of keto things, as you guys already know, so just comment below if you want to see a giveaway of some of these things. I don't mind giving them away. And again, just thank you so much for following me on my journey these 3 days while I was at the conference. It's been very interesting. I've learned a lot. The speakers were excellent. I feel rejuvenated and just even more positive about the mission that I'm on to just get healthy from the inside out. So with that said, I am going to sign off. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share and comment. And just comment below if you want to see a giveaway. And I am going to see you guys next week. Bye-bye. KetoCon. This lighting is pretty bad. Sorry. We spent like over $100.